operator for CLG, or at least I was until a couple days ago. So you might have heard the rumors, and yeah, unfortunately the rumors are true. This is Thursday as of recording of this right now, and the rumor.
Can we just say how fucking crazy this is? Like, CLG and TSM, bro, like, that shit is crazy, bro. That shit is sad, and that shit is crazy. We living in a crazy ass time, chat.
Rumors started circulating on Monday. Sources: CLG sold, mass layoffs, brand's future uncertain. CLG being one of the oldest organizations within esports, been in LCS I think from the very beginning of its inception, and has spread its brand coverage across many different esports titles, and within the past year or two got into the FGC, the fighting game community, which is what I'm a part of. And my fellow FGC comrades were doing a lot of work. In fact, we were pretty busy in the past month.
They're probably losing a lot of money, man. They're losing a whole lot of money.
Squad IBDW Sunday night won first place at a major, and
they're losing hella money.
CCH and Apology Man, we're still on the plane home from Evo Japan when we got called into that meeting on Monday to let us know that yes, these rumors are. My fellow FGC comrades were doing a lot of work. In fact, we were pretty busy in the past.
Wow, Brian, did you work for
CLG? On Magi to their melee squad. IBDW Sunday night won first place at a major, and Ramala, Chrissy CH, and Apology Man were still on the plane home from Evo Japan when we got called into that meeting on Monday to let us know that yes, these rumors are true. So as you might piece together, we were surprised. There was no signs of the ship slowing down, taking on water. Things were kind of moving and growing, especially within my section.
I have a philosophy that a lot of businesses are way in on a lot more debt than they allude to. That's a whole nother video in of itself, but just saying, man.
Of the CLG brand, which was CLG FGC. So it was pretty surprising news when we got the call that said, hey, emergency team-wide meeting, please join call in 20 minutes. And it's not my first rodeo. Esports is not my only career path, so I know what it means when you have an org-wide meeting set up on short notice. So it's never anything good is what I can tell you. Anyone out there, brace yourself when you have one of those meetings suddenly sprung upon you. So what really happened? CLG, as of 2017, became a subsidiary of Madison Square Gardens, MSG. Yes, the venue, New York Knicks, New York Rangers. You can see here on the Wikipedia page, their Counter Logic Gaming is right there, subsidiary of MSG. Well, MSG, they decided that as of Monday this week that they're done with CLG. They're selling off the brand onto another esports team, and they sold it to Energy. Energy is another esports organization, over 1 million followers on Twitter, and they had been out of the League of Legends game for quite some time. It was confirmed to be true by Greg Kim, former CEO of CLG during my time. Greg was actually a great guy. I loved working with him. And in his letter to the people today, he confirmed that CLG will be closing its doors and will be sold off to Energy. And this is
it's upsetting.
Able to publicly speak upon the rumors, because I was
it's real now.
Clauses here and mess up any severance. With that said, there was a lot more to CLG than just the League of Legends and other esports teams. There was the CLG FGC brand, which is what I personally was a part of. We had built a big brand in the past year and a half or so. We had the CLG FGC Twitter account. We had CLG Run It Thursdays, which was a very unique tournament series, and we also were building the CLG FGC YouTube channel as well. And I was really proud of all this. I was really proud of the brand building that we were doing with CLG FGC. I think we're doing a lot of good work, but we did a slightly more highbrow version of FGC team org content, and I think we did a lot of stuff we were proud of. We did a lot of philosophical discussion pieces, podcast sort of discussions, fun pop quizzes, a bit more highbrow combo trials, because we would produce our own custom combo trials and actually learn the aspects of different fighting games. So it was a lot of fun doing this, and I was proud of what we built. But after the brand was sold to Energy, I'll let Andy Miller of Energy take it away and explain exactly what they're doing.
Hey everybody, I'm Andy Miller. For those of you who don't know, I am the CEO and founder of Energy. Today is a really big day for us here at Energy and for all the Energy fam. So we're super excited to announce that we are back in League of Legends. So after a many year absence, after being relegated, trying to figure it all out, in a bunch of years, we clawed our way back and here we are. We're super excited to announce the acquisition of Counter Logic Gaming, or CLG, to the Energy family. Here's what's gonna happen. We are acquiring CLG as of this announcement. So we're keeping the league infrastructure intact, the league LCS team, the academy teams, all the coaches, the analysts, everybody down to Chef Phil, and we'll be working out of the Culver City facility. There are definitely changes to the CLG org, and we appreciate everyone who over the years put their blood, sweat, and tears into this org to get to the point where now they can become a part of Energy. We thank Madison Square.
I don't know if you
That's
realize
crazy,
how
bro.
that last sentence comes off. We appreciate everyone who worked with CLG and put their blood, sweat, and tears in it for years so that it could eventually be acquired by another esports team and then immediately shut down all branches except for the League of Legends, which include the entire CLG FGC division, the Apex Legends division, the CSGO rosters, all the content creators and speedrunners, and all the staff that made this all a reality, which is a lot of people. I don't know if that
Literally, they
thought
just
through.
wanted the
I don't know if they
team.
intended it to sound
Strictly
that way,
bought the
but
team.
It's not the honor you think it is to get sold to another company and then laid off. Just saying, I don't know. I mean, business is tough, I get it, but it's not, you know, you're trying to make it all sound good. I think that's one of those moments where you can just be like, hey, look, we don't see how we can make money from these divisions, and that's business. I think being transparent and, you know, just frank in that would have come off less sleazy, but it is what it is. I won't hold it too much against them, but a lot of people lost their dream jobs in this moment. So it's a time to be a little
Time to be alive.
The way things are going, but that's the reality of the situation. Listen, League of Legends is what brings the big bucks even to this day, and that's just how it is. So I don't blame Energy for making this move. Once you get into esports, that's just how it is. So I kind of get it. I would have chose my words a little bit differently.
Man, I gotta get like Brian when I'm talking.
But that said, Energy now owns the CLG brand. What will become of CLG in the NRS, or sorry, in the LCS, I don't really know. But it seems like they're leaning towards rebranding.
But he's actually a part of a lot of that
Energy
stuff.
League account that follows me is not Energy League. This was the CLG Twitter account, CLG Gaming. And they already
I'm not a part of
rebranded
much
to Energy
anything,
League,
so it's hard to care.
I'm pretty sure they're just trying to squash all the history of a legendary esports org, completely revamp it, and I don't know, maybe preserve some old tweets. If you scroll down a little bit, you still see there's Cody winning his major and then immediately getting laid off from his job the next day. So that's good timing. So who knows what they'll do with the history of CLG here. But basically CLG is donezo. So it be what it do. But you know, I don't really have any hard feelings about it, because when you look at CLG and you look at esports, it is kind of bizarro world, right? Like,
Yeah.
Got pulled into CLG, and even
Bizarro world.
I've known for a long time personally that
Fucking
esports
bizarro
doesn't really
world.
makes sense. And I think we're seeing right now that bubble is really popping in a lot of ways. So CLG is now done. The league team was sold off to Energy. FaZe is having a whole bunch of issues and might be disbanded soon. TSM is having a whole bunch of issues as well. A lot of esports teams over the past couple months and years are kind of either downsizing or imploding to some degree. So that's just how the economy is going. People were putting a lot of money into esports and sizing up, scaling up, investing a lot of money, hiring a lot of people, and there wasn't really a model to make money, right? Where does the money come from to fund all this? And when you go to when you see the
Where does the money come to fund all of this?
Passion project, it's beautiful to see, but also in the back of your head,
You're
you
like,
gotta
bro,
understand,
like,
this is not sustainable. And that's always kind of how I viewed it, and that's something that motivated me within my little section of the esports world. I felt motivated to try to make moves that could turn this into something that generates some kind of revenue. Now, there are ways that the esports teams generated revenue, right? So they did have sponsorships. CLG had Bud Light Gaming, Alienware, and Spectrum. So there was ways to bring in money. It wasn't completely without revenue streams, but it was not necessarily the most sustainable sort of venture. And that's been discussed to great lengths amongst many people in the esports scene about how these teams have been massively overvalued, and a lot of them are funded by venture capitalists.
Venture capitalists
and make a quick buck, or not a quick buck, a long buck. They've been funding this for a decade now, and it's not really making a return. So things are kind of falling apart at this moment. But I feel like within CLG FGC, that was something that we were doing better than most, and that something is what I was proud of. So for example, like I mentioned, we were doing the Run It Thursdays, which was actually bringing in funding, right? So Run It Thursdays was going on, and Spectrum sponsored that and was able to provide prizing for the community and also fund the commentators. Like, everyone was paid who was involved with CLG Run It Thursdays. So I thought something like that, some kind of branded tournament series, that was a super valuable asset that the CLG FGC brand had in order to bring in revenue. And we were also, beyond working on the Run It Thursdays, we had the content game, right? I feel like content was something that made sense to me as a content creator. You put YouTube video on YouTube, ads run, you get money. So there was something that was bringing in money. Obviously, the scale of our content creation needed to increase rapidly, or it needed to increase by a large percentage. We weren't pushing enough videos, and we weren't getting enough views yet. I felt like there was a lot of potential here on the CLG FGC channel to grow this to a larger degree, potentially do more sponsored content series with, recurring episodes. We had the Guess the Rank format going on. Maybe we could have sold ad spots for that, or had a sponsor for certain shows that we did. We had the CLG FGC podcast as well. So I feel like there was a lot of potential with this to be something that actually was able to get money into the org. So that was something that I feel like we're building in the right direction. So I feel like within this small bubble, we were doing something that could potentially make money in the long run. But this small bubble is just one little pinky on the beast that was CLG, and which is, really just like a tiny zit on the back of MSG. And they finally popped it, and boom, we're gone with it. So that's just kind of the breaks. Now, that said, for me personally, I had an amazing time with CLG. I knew that the people who were working on CLG FGC and in the CLG brand, they genuinely cared about esports in the FGC and wanted to put out, quality work that they were proud of. So I have nothing negative to say about CLG at all. I disagree with maybe some business decisions, or maybe some things we could have done better, but everything we did, I could tell, was like actually trying to grow a mutual beneficial relationship within the FGC. And I think that's a really awesome thing to see. I think the problem is the current landscape of esports just doesn't match with the old way of doing things at all. What we see now, a lot of teams that are thriving are teams that are okay with losing money. In fact, what we're seeing now is the rise of content creator teams, right? We have DSG Disguise, run by, content creator Disguise Toast. We have also
content
Moist
creator
Esports, which
teams,
is run by Moist Critical and now Ludwig, right? These teams lean into the fact that they are wasting money. They are run by people who have tons and tons
they
of money.
lean into the fact they're wasting money,
and now they can just burn their cash on passion projects that were originally related to their genuine interests, right? And they lean into that. Just today, Ludwig posted the video where he announced he signed Zane, top melee player. We still can't figure out how Ludwig Ogren keeps getting into our bank account. We're excited to welcome Zane to the squad. It's part of the brand to say, hey, we are wasting money on esports because we just love this shit so much. And to me, this seems to be the future. In fact, it's also the present. You look at other brands like Red Bull. Red Bull has been sponsoring fighting game events and players for years just because they think that shit's cool. They think that shit's cool. That's all it is. So it just comes down to what.
Because who the fuck drink?
There's a hint of a.
It's not because they think it's fucking cool, because at the end of the day, the best business play is to actually give a fuck. Like, bro, I give a fuck about this stream. I give a fuck about all of y'all. That's why I wish I can get a community, because all I want to do is give back. Like, bruh, like, you got all these fucking, like, bro, Asmongold makes fucking millions, but he does nothing for y'all. He does absolutely nothing for y'all. Same thing with Charlie. He gets fucking millions from you guys and does nothing for you guys. Just providing more content that indirectly is going to make them money in the future. They just have to lose money now. God, if I'm going to actually lose money, I want to change one of you guys' lives. God damn. I'm going to have a once to twice a year where I just give one of you guys 50 G's. Straight the fuck up. Why is that a problem? Why does someone care? Like, Jesus, like, we need to do better.
A strategy behind this as well for the content creator teams, because content creators love to react to things without creating original content. That's their favorite thing to do. Okay, nothing better than sitting back, relaxing.
All the money in the world, and all they're really doing is circle jerking each other.
And what they can do now is have an endless stream of content created for them,
Hell
because now
no.
they have an esports team or an esports player. They can watch the tournament streams of their sponsored player or esports team, and they can root for them, and that becomes content within itself, and that content can actually generate revenue. There's actually like a mechanism here to make some kind of return. It's going to be a couple of YouTube videos, but at the scale of what Ludwig and Moist Critical do with their YouTube videos, it might actually make them some kind of money in the long run. So I feel like there's a much stronger chance that these content creation teams, they last longer, because as long as
all Esmond Gold does is sell you guys overpriced computers. I'd be giving them bitches away.
You don't know when venture capitalists, you know, they're going to turn off the valve of money and your whole esports team explodes, right? You never know when that's going to happen. And it happened to CLG. We had no clue. We were scaling up, signing new players, doing new projects. Street Fighter 6 is just on the horizon, right? And then suddenly it's gone. Oh, well, there it goes, right? So I think you're less likely to see that with these kinds of teams because they know what it is. They are wasting their money for the love of the game. And, you know, that's a beautiful thing in its own way. But that said, where does that leave esports and the FGC right now? It's hard to say that this is a bad look for esports and the FGC, because I think esports as a whole is on a downturn, and Capcom, I think, is trying to position themselves in such a way where they can capitalize on that, right? So, of course, we already know that the CPT for Street Fighter 6 coming up, over 2 million in the prize pool, 1 million for first place. They're putting this big flashy number over like almost 50% of the prize pool. It's just one person in first place. They're trying to make sure that this big flashy number attracts some eyeballs. So this seems like a lot of money to the FGC. It's kind of nothing in the world of League of Legends and other esports. But they are positioning themselves when the LCS is weak. You know, League of Legends is actually declining in the West, and the teams are not doing well. So there's actually an incentive for teams to potentially just throw a little bit of money into an FGC division, because they could potentially make big gains in a niche market. There's also the Street Fighter League, which Capcom has been leaning to for a long time, where they have the franchising models where you know, you have established teams set up and you have guaranteed screen time. One of the big problems with open bracket tournaments for FGC is that you invest in a player, even if they get 9th place and have an amazing run and beat Daigo, Tokido, Evo, and Capcom Cup champions, they might do it all off stream, never get any stream time. Or if they do, the only match they get on stream is the one match where they get eliminated from the tournament and they're done in 3 minutes, right? So it's really risky to invest in a fighting game player, because unless they win that day, they might not get that much guaranteed screen time. So you're not really building brand awareness. And if you're not building brand awareness, what are you really doing? At the end of the day, brand is everything. You need to get eyeballs on the brand so that you can get eyeballs on the sponsors, so that sponsors want to sponsor the team. That's the current model. So Street Fighter League addresses that by saying, hey, just pay to have your team in here, and you're going to have eyes on your team guaranteed, because it's going to be a 10-week long event. And even if you guys go 0-30, you're still going to be there. Like, there's no risk in terms of screen time. You will get the same screen time as the first place team, practically. But in the reality of it, let's have a reality check. Esports Illustrated, why do you guys think FGC content isn't covered much in the esports industry? It's not an esport, no support from publisher, community gatekeeping, other. I thought this was a ridiculous poll. I was like, what? These options, I was like, what are you talking about? And then JM Crofts come in here with the much needed reality check. Pretty simple IMO. Here we go. Rocket League, 36,000 playing 40 minutes ago. Rainbow Six, 60,000 playing 40 minutes ago. Counter-Strike, 1,140,000 playing 40 minutes ago. Street Fighter 5, 1,800 people playing 40 minutes ago. All-time peak, 13,000. The all-time peak is lower by a significant margin than the playing 40 minutes ago for all these other games, which are larger esports games. Now, is this a little unfair because a lot of the FGC player base is based on console and not necessarily PC? Yeah, sure. But also, even if, say, there were 30,000 people playing Street Fighter V on console instead, that's still also bad for esports because the PC market is where the sponsors are looking to make a profit. The people who are using PC are the ones that buy random mouses, they buy random keyboards, they buy graphics cards, they buy hard drives, they buy things to upgrade their system. There's a lot more products you can sell to a PC consumer. So it's not good. These numbers are bad. And you know what? That's just the reality of it. Fighting games are just much smaller than other games. So at the end of the day, Street Fighter esports and fighting game esports can be easily bought out, but will teams even think to invest in them? No, I don't think so. They don't even know we exist. They don't know we exist. It's just the reality of it. You think Andy over here knows what Street Fighter is? He probably knows about Street Fighter 2 back in the day, but does he know that Street Fighter 5 exists? I don't know. Does he know about Multi-Blood? Probably not. That reality check is important because when it comes to the individual, to the players, you need to remember that you should never need a team. I think that's super important, and that's been the reality of it for a long time. But you should never need an esports team. You 100% need to build your own brand and build financial stability on your own without an organization. And I've always felt that way. Even when I was on CLG, that meant nothing in terms of me stopping my own brand building, own streams of income, content creation, that sort of thing. The reason I was even picked up by CLG, of course, was not because I was getting first at every tournament. I wasn't winning everything the world over. It's because I was pretty good, but also way better at brand building than the rest of the competition. My YouTube channel was going strong, the Twitch channel was going strong, and I was just positioned in a way where I was an asset that CLG wanted to bring into their CLG FGC squad. So as a player in 2023 in the FGC, you need to build a brand. You need to do content. You need to establish revenue streams. You should never have to rely on a sponsor to pay your bills. That just does not exist in this day and era. You need to have a job. That's very important. I still work full time. That's the beauty of the situation for me. I feel terrible for the rest of CLG because there are people who are giving it, they're all working full time, healthcare, all that. They lost their real ass jobs. They did. They really did. They're real ass jobs, which fucking sucks. And it's a terrible economy right now. It fucking sucks.
Can we get an F in the chat that Brian actually still has a job? Man, because by the end of this month, I'm going to have to start looking for a part-time. If we don't pick up something. That's why I'm like, road to trying to get affiliate in a month. Shit, I ain't got no time to play. Fuck a year, fuck a couple of months. I need affiliate in a month.
Sucks. But as a player, I think you should have a balance. I don't think we're in a position where you can do this full time unless you're the top 0.01 of the 01, add a million zeros in front of that 1%. Maybe if you're Tokido or Daigo, the esports scene in Japan is doing a lot better. In the West, maybe if you're Punk or if you're Idon, Sonic Fox, sure. Your goal should not be get results so that an org picks you up and then pays your bill. You need to be able to establish a revenue stream from your skill via content creation or brand building. And then the evidence of that brand building is what will attract an org to you. So this is the reality of the situation. By the time you get sponsored, you should have an org begging you to join because you have proven to be an asset that can add value and bring in revenue. They should be begging you to join. I get sick to my stomach when I see people tagging themselves under these pandering posts from organizations. Who should we sign next? Me. Don't ever do that. Have some self-respect. Please don't ever do that. I understand making a post on your own personal Twitter with your stats and broadcasting out to the world that you're available. I get that. But man, when the FGC people are begging under these huge orgs to sign them, why are they going to sign you? You are a gnat in the world of esports. Daigo could be doing that and they wouldn't even see him for they're up here. We're down here. You got to remember, we are nothing. Remember, please. I feel like the FGC doesn't understand that. We are nothing. What you need to do is build value yourself. That's the only way. It's very sad to see. Because listen, you gotta understand those orgs, when they do that, who should we sign next? They're engagement farming. You guys know that, right? So don't save yourself the pain and keep your dignity. But yeah, FGC, please invest in yourself. That's all I had for the primary.
And that wasn't a bad video.
I'm hoping everyone at CLG lands on their feet. They worked really hard to build an amazing brand. They're all great people. They believed in what they did. They believed in the communities and the players and the content creators that they brought on. And I will always respect that. And I really enjoyed my time with CLG.
Not bad video, Brian. Not bad. That was pretty enlightening. Brian's pretty good with the news, or he's been getting a lot better with the news. I ain't gonna cap. I usually just come to him for like fighting game videos, but I mean, he has to expand because he can't just keep showing us only fucking Oro. He has to like build out or like brand out. That's why I'm like, hopefully I can brand out. That's why today has actually been amazing for fucking content. Today has been absolutely stunning for content. Thank you, Jordan. Thank you, all the love. Shit in general. Actually been pretty turned. Anything, shoot, the viewers. Shit, our viewers, I got our bots. I love it. Like, I wonder what do you guys like do? And then this guy is alive. Stats. That's kind of cool. Oh, cool beans, cool beans, cool Jimmy Dean beans. Okay, on to the next one.